CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Vicki Barker. With gas prices moving ever higher at the pump,
it's really been hard because gas over $5 is hard, you know what I mean? This to fill up is like $80.
And that brings knock-on effects through America's consumer economy, with Americans holding on tight to their wallets.
People are not going to spend as freely. It's like those high gas prices become a billboard and a signifier for all prices being higher.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Higher jet fuel costs proved the last straw for low-cost Spirit Airlines, which shut down yesterday. Our travel editor, Peter Greenberg, delivers the bad news for Americans' summer travel plans.
For people who are leisure travelers, they're going to have to spend a lot more money to go to where they want to go.
Speaking at an event Friday, President Trump has said he'll look at Iran's latest proposals for extending the ceasefire and described the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports and the seizure of some oil-bearing vessels this way.
We're like pirates. We're sort of like pirates.
CBS's Raimi Inocencio drills down into that remark.
At least 3 ships boarded since the U.S. imposed a naval blockade on April 13th, turning back at least 48 Iranian-linked ships and freezing billions in Iranian oil and cargo.
The Financial Times is reporting the Pentagon has warned the UK, Poland, Lithuania and Estonia, among other NATO allies, to expect serious delays for several missile systems. The British Daily says U.S. officials are concerned about inventory levels because so many missiles have been committed to the war on Iran. Back at home, 2 drug makers are appealing to the Supreme Court to immediately restore full access to the abortion pill. This after a lower court on Friday temporarily restricted abortion providers nationwide from prescribing the pills by telemedicine or sending them by mail, even to states where abortion is legal. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum calls this the latest knock-on effect from the Dobbs decision, which overturned Roe v. Wade.
After the Dobbs decision, many states passed legislation making it more difficult to have access to abortions. Other than traveling to blue pro-choice states, pregnant women depended on the abortion pill being mailed to them after scheduling a telemedicine visit. Unless the Supreme Court blocks the ruling from the Fifth Circuit, many will be denied abortions. The abortion drug accounts for half of all abortions in the United States.
And her foundation is reporting that Iran's imprisoned Nobel Prize laureate Narges Mohammadi has been urgently transferred to a hospital after a severe health decline. She apparently experienced 2 episodes of unconsciousness and a cardiac crisis. The civil rights lawyer was imprisoned in December. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Guess what's coming back to New York City's Metropolitan Museum?
The first Monday in May means the Met Gala will take over New York City's Upper East Side, with a who's who of celebrities parading up the stairs of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Beyoncé, Serena Williams, and Nicole Kidman are co-chairs.
Your behavior is unacceptable.
All under the watchful eye of Vogue's global editorial director, Anna Wintour.
I hope that's not what you're wearing to the dinner. That's all.
Played by Meryl Streep in the Devil Wears Prada sequel that debuted Friday, expect the stars to rock this year's dress code. Fashion is art. The party raises money for the museum's Costume Institute. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News, New York.
And finally, Shakira has performed a free concert on Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro. The Brazilian city's mayor said 2 million people attended the event last night. I'm Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Furnished by IntelliBrands. Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Get an Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact. Improve your flexibility and balance. Strengthen and tone your legs.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better, and it makes me feel stronger too.
My circulation is moving. I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
It's so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. And for a limited time, get a free upgrade to our deluxe bundle with a faster motor, sport mat, and wireless remote. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings sunshine and some clouds with a high of 58, with more clouds for tonight, perhaps even a shower in a couple of spots late, the low 47. That leads to a breezy day tomorrow, warmer as well with some sun and a high of 70, but watch for a thunderstorm on Tuesday, otherwise cloudy, breezy, and warmer, high 75. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli.
After breaking the NFL draft attendance record with over 805,000 fans witnessing the league's annual restocking of talent, Pittsburgh must capitalize on the momentum this created. ESPN and social media were unbelievably complimentary of our city. We received thousands of rave reviews from first-time visitors. The key is to ensure this success is sustained. All of this required a collaborative effort from so many people and organizations. Let's make sure these same people work just as hard attracting other big events and conventions. Continue to keep our city clean. Look for more areas to improve. The momentum is there. Let's make sure we don't simply celebrate the success, but rather we start stacking wins. There is no time like the present.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Frax on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Welcome to your Sunday morning. Spirit Airlines announced early Saturday morning that it was ceasing operations after the budget carrier failed to secure a $500 million federal buyout. All right, so who's to blame? How could this happen? You want to make it political? Let's go back to when the Joe Biden administration said not so fast about any merger. Well, and let's talk about the current administration. I'm going to give you a $500 million bailout, but wait a minute. Let me rethink that. Do not make this political, please. Make it for what it's all about, a workforce. And I know there are people that have said, oh, there are plenty of jobs in the airline industry. These people won't have any issue finding a job. Nonsense. How would you feel? 20 years working for a company, whatever capacity it would be in, and then all of a sudden, right in the middle of the most important earning years of your life, the proverbial rug is pulled out from underneath you. And now, no fault of your own, because you were doing your job, you have to find another. One thing I can tell you, finding another affordable paycheck is difficult. Almost impossible, because we have let the working class people in this country down. Let's just be honest. From one administration to the next, over the last 30 years, we have depleted our workforce because we don't pay them what they're worth. And we dangle them out in open air like a yo-yo, bouncing up and down. And we don't care if the string breaks because it didn't happen to us. No reason for us to be concerned. There's other airlines. Don't you remember what happened here with U.S. Air? Is it really that far gone in the rearview mirror that you can't see in your mind's eye in that thought process of, oh my, that was horrible? And if you're old enough to remember the loss of the manufacturing industry when steel mills were disappearing, within seconds of one another. I am simply saying I care about these 15,000 workers and their skill set. Arnold Palmer Airport is an important part of our legacy. The namesake alone should make you want to do everything to figure this out. And I know people are saying, well, somebody will come in and buy them, but it hasn't happened yet. So for the moment, let's focus on what really matters here. It's not what administration made it happen or let it happen. It's not about how they got into debt. It's about the 15,000 workers who every day went to work to hold up their part of the bargain. So let's lift them up. Yeah, let's lift them up. I am on fire with anger over this because right away, people in the audience blaming Donald Trump, who offered the money in the beginning, and nobody talking about Joe Biden, who stopped a possible merger with another airline that maybe would have averted this. And get the talks restarted. And can't you get them the money? You're $38 trillion in debt. With all due respect, $25 billion on a war in Iran. Right, wrong, or indifferent. What about the people of Spirit Airline? What about Arnold Palmer Airport? And Mr. President, golf, PGA this weekend at a course you own, Doral in Florida. Arnold Palmer is the reason that Doral and that course still is a very popular place to play golf. And why it's on the PGA Tour? Because of people like Arnold Palmer who put it on the map. And you love the great game of golf, and you loved Arnold Palmer. Spirit Airline is everything to the spirit of that airport, to the gateway to the west, Westmoreland County. I'm telling you right now, I'm worried about the workers. I'm worried about people who are stranded. Yeah, Southwest has already stepped up, and thank you for that, willing to help people to get back to where they need to get back to. Imagine, this is another thing. People take for granted the great airport we have here, $1.7 billion remodel. That will mean it will be here for generations to come. I remember when there were 8,000, and now there are about 6,000 people that work at that airport who are depending on that airport for a paycheck. Where is it that all of a sudden we have lost our way when it comes to the workforce? You know, we can make all the excuses out there, but why don't we care about the workforce? Why don't we care about these union jobs? Why don't we care about people who have earned the right to get a paycheck? You know, I got to tell you, when I look in the mirror as I did at 2 a.m. this morning, I know that I am aging out. And I think to myself, because I've been so focused over the last couple of decades that I've lost sight of everything else other than my children. It's just been nonstop. I'm tired. But guess what? Even if somebody would come down and say, let me wave the magic wand and you'll be 45 again at the peak of your earning years. You'll be on top of the world, making more money than you'll ever need. I'd say, no, thank you. I'm happier that I'm closer to the end because I look in the rearview mirror and see how much daylight I burned trying to make it and to just be there in the present so my children would have all of the gifts that they have today. I can't imagine what it would have been like 30 years ago, 25 years ago, finding myself unable to take care of my children. Look, there are people waking up in Westmoreland County today wondering, will I be able to pay my mortgage? Will I be able to feed my family? I just had a child start college. I have another one starting college. Somebody's going to have to get a job. I'm going to have to get 2 jobs. And here's the other thing. Just because you're a mechanic for Spirit Airline at Westmoreland County Arnold Palmer Airport doesn't mean you're going to get a job with United or American at the Pittsburgh International Airport. Plus, I don't know about you. Have you driven back and forth from Westmoreland County, from Allegheny County? It's not like it's right down the road. Take into consideration what we're talking about here. This is not about politics. It's about someone's livelihood. 866-391-1020 and also NASCO Roofing Instant Access to our shows. Click away. Email us at instantacesskdkradio.com. If you know someone in your community has done something extraordinary in the past year, nominate them now, kdkradio.com, to be honored at this year's Larry's Hometown Heroes. Your calls are coming up next.
Now more than ever, we're the station you can trust for the information you need. KDKA.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports is brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations that serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Connor Griffin, 4 for 5. Bucks beat the Reds 17-7. Two teams again today. 1:35 first pitch. 93-7 the Fan from PNC Park. Golden Tempo won the Kentucky Derby yesterday. Riverhounds lost to Phoenix 1-0. And PGA this weekend, Doral in Florida. Cameron Young is at 15 under. Scotty Scheffler is in a group in second place at 9 under. More sports at 937thefan.com.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Hey, folks, my friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Joe from Pittsburgh loved the excellent work NASCO did on replacing his roof and gutters. It was a big job that NASCO completed in just 2 days with excellent attention to every detail. Joe was also impressed with NASCO's cleanup that left his home spotless. NASCO has thousands of customers that are satisfied like Joe. Get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO 412-373-2000. 412-373-2000. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing. NASCO.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, 866-391-1020. As always, you can listen to us at 100.1 FM, AM 1020, KDK, or on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. But you can also watch us online with the KDK video stream, presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to kdkradio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio live stream. Or now you can just go to our KDK Radio YouTube page and watch everything we are doing in the studio. Here's Ted, Mount Washington. Good morning, Ted. How are you?
What's going on, Rob?
A little worried about some of my fellow workers in and around western Pennsylvania. Not good news. How about you?
Well, I agree with you. Not good news. Well, Rob, I'll tell you this. I don't want a government bailout, man. Think of that crap, man. No
I hear
way.
you. I hear you.
No way. I didn't like what Obama bailed out the car industry. Didn't like what Bush bailed out the banks. Didn't like what Joe Biden tried to bail out student loans. That is absolutely ridiculous.
What do you think happened there, Teddy? Why did it get stalled out?
Well, I think you had a CEO who didn't know what they're doing, and they should go down with the ship. That's called the private sector. If you don't have a great business model, then you should go down. Let the private sector take it over. Let them figure it out. I mean, if business go bankrupt every day, that's what it's called. It's called capitalism. You got your boom and you got your bust. Let the cycle go through. Let them go through bankruptcy. Let them figure it out. You know, I'm just.
They're not going through bankruptcy. They're shutting down.
Well, let them go through the process. Hopefully, maybe another company maybe buy them out, or
Well, listen, there could have been a merger, but Biden didn't let that happen. And I don't want to make it political, but it is what it is. What it is.
Oh, it is what it is. But I don't want government interference. I mean, if Trump does this, I am telling you, I'm going to hit the roof. You better not touch that airline. I've just had enough of presidents always interfering in the private sector. That's what the Chinese do. That's what that's what the Russians do. We got to stop that.
Well, listen, I'm not going to take away your thunder, but I just have a soft spot. And when I think of $500 million compared to $38 trillion to save 15,000 jobs and to save our listen, this could destroy parts of Westmoreland County. I mean, destroy. I saw it in the Beaver County when U.S. Air left and 15,000 people had to move. So, I got a soft spot in my heart, but you have every right to your opinion.
Oh, look, I agree with you. But like I said before, the best form of regulation when it comes to capitalism is failure. Okay? Companies fail, Rob. Some deserve to go down.
Yeah, that's all we seem to have anymore is companies that fail. There's no success stories anymore.
No, but that's when that's what's called taking on risk. Okay? There's risk every day. For every restaurant opening, there's 2 closing. Let the cycle continue. People will find a way to figure it out. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I like I said.
But you know, Ted, that's easy to say when you're retired and you're able to sleep as long as you want, go to bed when you want, and get up and call me at 5:20 in the morning. I'm just saying, buddy. I get it.
Well, I understand that. Look, Rob, how many jobs have you had? Okay.
Yeah, I know. And you know why I had so many jobs? Because you never know when job was going to leave, and you had to use the other to take care of your children. And it cost me everything. It cost me everything, but I'm glad I did it, and I'd do it over again so my children have what they have.
It's called the American spirit. Go figure it out, Rob. Okay?
I hope
when
so.
steel mills went down, people figured that out. You do what you got to do. You have to have a bulldog mentality.
Yeah, that's what they tell me. That's what they tell me.
Oh, yeah. If you don't, if you want to eat, you better figure it out. And I feel sorry for that community, but like I said before, hey, that's the risk we all take every single day.
Well, I'd like to hear from some of them workers, and I did put some feelers out yesterday to the mayor of Latrobe and to the person who is now Maurice Haas, who is running the airport, Gabe Bonzo. A nice article about him in the PG. He's decided that he is done after 40 years and he is retired. So I'm hoping either sometime before I'm done with Open Talk, which I highly doubt today, but maybe Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, somebody steps up and comes on the air because, look, I'm going to be the Pied Piper. I'm going to let people say whatever they want, including you. They can even go political on me, but I'm going to stand up for the worker because that's what I do. So.
Oh, yeah, look, hey, I agree with you 100% with the worker. Okay, but
no, you don't, Ted. With all due respect, no, you don't, because you're basically saying they'll figure it out. I don't see how they figure it out. We're talking 15,000 jobs. This isn't like 100 people working at a small factory in some little community along a river. This is like major. This is like U.S. Air type of loss. This is like when the steel mills were closing, like when Aliquippa lost LTV. This is big, massive.
It is, Rob. I'm not. I understand that. But, Rob, look, I just have a huge problem with government interference.
Okay.
I got a huge problem with that.
I know. I get it.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
I don't want him to touch it.
Well, I hope he does.
But they'll figure it out.
You know what? Call Elon Musk. Tell him to stroke a check. Let him buy the airline. Call it Tesla Airlines. That would be great. And it would be good for him, too. With all the traveling he does, he won't have to worry about those frequent flyer miles. I mean, think about it. If Elon Musk is smart, and I know people are saying, here he goes again promoting that guy that he loves so much. Look, I just love the entrepreneurial spirit. Jeff Bezos retired now. Stroke a check for $1 billion, buy the place, and put Amazon on it. I mean, because you already got planes in the air delivering stuff. I mean, don't let these people be without work. It's not their fault. They did their job. If the CEO or somebody screwed it up, it's not the people. And the last time I checked, there was a guy by the name of Howard Hughes who did okay with TWA. So, hey, let's save this airline in some form or another. And if you have to paint them blue and white as opposed to yellow and put an Amazon logo on it or a Tesla logo, so be it. And maybe he can even start developing EV jets. Who knows? I'm just saying, I don't want to see 15,000 people kicked to the curb. I don't.
No, I don't either. But there's a lot of smart people in the private sector. Let them take a whack at it. If they can make it go, great. If they can't, they can't.
You know what I'd love to see happen? I love Southwest, and I know, I'd love to see them buy that. Because here's the thing. I just don't want to see Arnold Palmer Airport lose a major airline carrier like that, because that really set them apart. And if Spirit Airlines leaves and no other major carrier comes in there, that's going to be horrible for that place. And that's a really nice airport.
It is. Well, like I said, I remember, Pittsburgh International Airport when the late Jim Roddy was.
And Dan Honorado too. Let's be both of them.
Yeah. And he said once Pittsburgh International lost its major hub, it was over.
And Dan did everything to try to save that.
Yes, he did. He did a heck of a job. So we're going to have to put a head.
Well, can I tell you something? Listen, if Josh Shapiro wants my vote, he should try to save this airline somehow. Bring business together. Do something. Listen, Stacey Garrity running for governor. I think this could come down to who gets elected. I mean, I think this is a big deal. Somebody better comment on it. I better hear some people talking about it that are, whether they be in Congress, Chris Deluzio, Summer Lee. I mean, somebody better be talking about this story. That's why you're in public office. That's why you're in public office.
Yeah, well, they better do their job, or they should suffer out the polls. They better do their job.
Listen, just speak up for the people. It's like when the Pawn U.S. deal was going on, I didn't hear anybody talk about it except some of the people that I put on the air. I mean, I'm telling you, Jay Costa talked about it. Jason Ritchie talked about it, head of the Republican Party, but I had a hard time getting people to talk about it. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's why you run for office. It's about getting jobs for people. And if we could get more jobs, we wouldn't deal with these problems. But right now, we lose 15,000 jobs, and these folks don't all work in Westmoreland County. It's going to hurt Allegheny, Beaver, Butler. It's going to be devastating. And especially to Westmoreland County and Latrobe. It's going to be devastating. And shame on us if we let something called the Arnold Palmer Airport suffer after all Arnold Palmer did for Western Pennsylvania. Are you kidding me? There's got to, listen, Teddy, there's got to be a solution here. I mean, look, I'm not the sharpest tack in the box, but there's got to be a solution here. There's got to be a solution here. And listen, President Trump, he knows enough people in the private sector. Pick up the phone. I mean, I think, listen, to get an airline for like $500 million or $1 billion, to get an airline with the reputation at one time, the third most profitable airline in the nation, I don't care how cheap their tickets are. Bottom line is they were turning green. They were making money at the cash register. Listen, if I had that kind of money, I'd buy the thing.
Well, they got to figure out how to do it and figure out a business model that works, and you can save jobs. But I agree. At least the politicians can come together and get people at the table and start thinking about it and start doing something. They did it with U.S. Steel. They got a partner for U.S. Steel, and it worked. So it could work. But
hey, guess what? Let Nippon buy it. They're going to be coming back and forth to this country a lot. They could afford it. Anybody. Just somebody buy this airline. Don't let these people be – because here's what will happen. You're not only going to have people in the unemployment line. I saw it firsthand when the mills shut down. I saw it when U.S. Air left. It destroys families. You have families that get disconnected because one family member has to move to another part of the country. Then divorce settles in. Parenting skills drop off. Young students have issues in school because mom and dad aren't together anymore or they're dealing with money problems. There's a big picture behind this, and it's not pretty no matter how you look at it. But in today's age, when people are cutting checks for billions and billions and billions of dollars, Bill Gates and all of them, and Wozniak and Jobs, what they did, and Tim Cook, I mean, Apple, anybody, somebody make a call. It may sound trite, but there's got to be somebody who'd love to own an airline for $1 billion.
Well, I agree with you. But you do have to have the politicians to get people at the table.
That's okay. You hear what you just said? I got all these other callers I got to get to. Teddy, I appreciate you, man. What you just said, that's what you're supposed to do as a politician. What Corey O'Connor has been doing since he took office. You got to network. You got to get people to step up, lean in. We cannot let these 15,000 people that are not all from here, but many of them are, and we can't let Arnold Palmer Airport suffer. I don't care who's to blame, why this happened. The workers did their job. They went to work every day and did their job. Coming up in about an hour, it's Catholic Education Plus, Father Tom Burke. Catholic Education Today this morning, featuring St. Benedict the Moor School District up there in the historic Hill District. So that's coming up today with Father Tom Burke. I hope you'll stick around for that. We're going to take more of your calls on this and some other things making news. Don't forget, we are in open talk until 6 a.m., and then it's Tech Vibe Radio, and then Father Tom Burke and Catholic Education Plus. Doug is here, the Organic Garden of the Coons Cooking Hour. Troy Lampenfelt, Greater Pitt Tree Service, our resident arborist, taking your calls today. And, of course, Accurate Solutions, talking financial news and notes. And then we wrap up a Marathon Sunday with the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. We cannot let 15,000 people lose their job. We're better than that. Stay with us.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Marty Griffin. I have seen so much anger these days. You know what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, get Marty at KDKRadio.com. It's where we will find a way to help you.
Presented by UPMC Health System, Phil DeLuceni and Associates, Cousins Roofing, Siding and Decks, and by Harold Shepley and Associates. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. With gas prices edging higher and higher at the pump.
It's really been hard because gas over $5 is hard, you know what I mean? This to fill up is like $80.
Higher jet fuel costs have done in low-cost Spirit Airlines. Travel editor Peter Greenberg warns.
For people who are leisure travelers, they're going to have to spend a lot more money to go to where they want to go.
Here's how President Trump described the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports and America's seizure of some oil-bearing vessels at an event Friday.
We're like pirates. We're sort of like pirates.
But he says he'll consider Iran's latest ceasefire proposal. Two drug makers want the Supreme Court to urgently overturn Friday's lower court ruling temporarily halting all telemedicine prescriptions and postal delivery of the abortion pill, even to states where abortion is legal.
Unless the Supreme Court blocks the ruling from the Fifth Circuit, many will be denied abortions. The abortion drug accounts for half of all abortions in the United States.
CBS legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum. CBS News Brief, I'm Vicki Barker.
New to Medicare, get covered with MediConnect. Listen Wednesdays around 1:40 to hear Lance O'Brien of MediConnect help you navigate the Medicare process. Simply great, unbiased information to get you the best healthcare coverage. Get covered with MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Get ready for Pour the Park at South Park, a fundraiser for the Allegheny County Parks Foundation on Saturday, May 16th in South Park. Enjoy beer, cider, and spirit tastings, delicious food trucks, live entertainment by Z-Town Street Band, and fabulous raffle baskets. Plus, bring your family. Your kids will love the discovery activities with Coach Dave. All proceeds benefit the 9 Allegheny County parks. New to Rivers Casino? Join now and earn up to $1,000 free slot play. Stop by Rush Rewards on your next visit to start earning today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Pittsburgh's favorite food event is back on May 28th. Join Pittsburgh Magazine's Best Restaurants Party, featuring bites from the city's top restaurants. Don't miss this ultimate tasting event. Get your tickets now at pittsburghmagazine.com/BR Party.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings moments of sunshine and some clouds with a high of 58, but more clouds for tonight, along with the risk for a shower late and a low of 47. That gives way to a breezy day tomorrow with a blend of sun and clouds and a high of 70, ahead of more clouds for Tuesday and a thunderstorm in the area, high 75. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Going through a big weekend? Yep. We'll get there to Monday, and when Monday hits, for sure, I'll be back. It's going to be fantastic. With you 2 to 6 on Monday. Join me then. Colin Dunlap, right here, KDK.
All right, 866-391-1020. Let's head to Butler and say good morning to Steve. Steve, how you doing today? Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. I'm calling in reference to this Spirit Airlines situation. I am a retired airline pilot. I was with U.S. Airways for a very long time, and then I went to JetBlue for 26 years. And I ended up retiring 2 years early because the writing on the wall with JetBlue's merger with Spirit, it was over $1 billion loss. We've had other airlines that have merged together, like Southwest, Morris Air, AirTran. No issues. They all went through. American, TWA went through. Delta, Northwest went through. United, Continental, it went through. American, America West, it went through. America West, U.S. Airways went through. I can continue on. This is the first merger that the last administration stopped. And the problem that's happening now is JetBlue, a lot of people are not aware of this, they're on the teeter of bankruptcy. And, of course, the Spirit Airlines went into bankruptcy. If the merger would have went through, they'd have been large enough to go and continue the operation, and they would have been okay. They'd have still have to work hard at it, but it would have been okay. But by them not approving this merger, both airlines are both in decay. Basically, they're looking at bankruptcy.
How does this happen? I mean, come on. I mean, how do we just accept the fact? I mean, even what happened with U.S. Air, finally, after years and years and people struggling and the stock basically going from $81 a share to 2 cents a share, people lost everything. Now, that finally has figured it out, but so many families and generations destroyed. How are we letting this happen again? Listen, this airline just a couple of years ago was the third most profitable airline in the country. And we've got people with great skill sets like you had, mechanics, people that, the luggage handlers, people that, clean the planes. I mean, skill set. How do we just sweep 15,000 jobs under the rug? I mean, come on, there's got to be a better way here. And why wouldn't they let a merger take? I don't get it. Please help me with this, Steve.
Well, problem is when the merger was going through, it was supposed to initially go through with Frontier Airlines and with Spirit, and Spirit wanted that merger. JetBlue came in and offered them a considerable amount more money to go and do the merger. By it failing, JetBlue is obligated to pay the stockholders, which put them in a financial situation that they're in today. But Spirit Airlines, by the merger not happening, I mean, and here's the problem, and I agree with everything you're saying. I'm listening to your last caller. Some of these jobs, like pilot jobs and mechanic jobs, there's no lateral move here. I mean, once that job is gone, it's very difficult to find a job that is good and pays as good as those jobs. The problem that we're running into here is with Spirit Airlines is that it's kind of like being in the Amazon River. I mean, once a piranha fish starts to swim a little bit sideways, all the other ones start to pick on it. Spirit Airlines has been picked apart so bad at this point and has lost so many aircraft and market share. They provide a product. The problem with the last administration, they were concerned that Spirit's offering these great rates, and when they came in, JetBlue said, listen, we will maintain those rates and we will be competitive, but we will maintain those rates for a minimum of 5 years, and we will stay competitive. But that wasn't good enough. And now we have not one, but we have two airlines.
Steve, great content here. I just want to ask something before it leaves my stream of consciousness. What do you mean it wasn't good enough? Why wasn't it good enough? Who said it wasn't good enough?
Well, I don't want to get into politics, but the last administration
Joe Biden, okay.
hired a law firm that went after the JetBlue Spirit merger, and it went to court, and we lost. JetBlue lost, and now JetBlue is struggling, and Spirit obviously struggled to the point where it can no longer, be competitive. That's why everybody's buying everybody up. All those mergers that I met, to be small anymore. And here's the thing from your last caller: Spirit was providing a product to the Pittsburgh area that nobody else was.
Amen.
You tell me where you can hop on a $120 million piece of equipment and get a $60 airline ticket. I was always wondering, how do they do this? How do they do it? But they did, and they did it for years. But the problem is that that the writing was on the wall, and they needed to go. And if they stayed like they are, which is what happened to them, they went into bankruptcy. They had to either merge and be stronger with another airline and still maintain those ticket prices, or falter and fail. And the bad thing is, there's other airlines that right now it's difficult times for airlines.
All right, so let me jump in because you're a great caller. Thanks for calling in today. But here's the thing: I just get a instant access NASCO Roofing instant access message from Donald, who's a big fan of the show, and he says that they're talking about. I'm just paraphrasing, but he ends the note by saying, "Well, they're in negotiations with other airlines." See. I said early in my morning commentary to begin the show, the monologue, that these jobs aren't as easy to replace as people think. And you being someone who walked the walk basically said the same thing. I can't believe some other major airline is going to say, hey, yeah, we're going to use Arnold Palmer Airport now. So I think not only are we dealing with the workers and the airline, we're also looking at that big piece of real estate that is Arnold Palmer Airport. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're on the mark, and your other caller that said they're looking, I think he was probably referencing JetBlue's looking at other.
Yep.
That's all fallen through. That was supposed to be a United Airlines JetBlue, and it doesn't look like it's going to go through. And the reason is because JetBlue is in a very financially strapped position, like with Spirit. Nobody's going to touch Spirit when they're going down the tubes. And President Trump's looking at this, saying, "Hey, we're going to take a look at this. If it's doable, we're going to do it." Boy, if he pulls this one off, love the guy. I mean, I'd love to see him come in and pull this off. But I just think that.
But is that going to be enough? Is that going to be enough to right the ship? But here's what's amazing, and you brought this to my attention. Oh, it is? So that would be enough to right the ship, $500 million?
I don't know.
Okay.
So question, I don't know. The only thing I just want to mention.
I just want to mention one thing before you go any further, because believe me, you're adding a lot to the show, and I'm trying to get all this stuff in before I got to get to a break. But let me just say this. So basically, the Biden administration, I'm not putting words in your mouth. This is just a thought process. With them saying no to the merger, not only have they destroyed Spirit Airlines, but eventually could make JetBlue go away too. Is that a fair statement?
That is a very fair statement.
Okay, it's all yours. Take it.
One thing, the one thing I wanted to say, I mentioned all those airlines. All those mergers, nobody stepped in to stop them. This is the first merger.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Since the 70s that they stepped in and stopped the merger. And we're scratching our heads. If you're asking me why, I can't answer that. I don't know. All I know is I was at U.S. Airways, and I was there to the end before I got furloughed as a pilot and got hired by JetBlue. And it's the same writing on the wall when I was at U.S. Airways and they were going down the tubes is what's happening at JetBlue. It's a miserable place to work right now because they're financially strapped. It's a great airline. U.S. Airways had a great product, but we didn't make it. JetBlue's got a great product. They better start thinking outside the box and pull it together, or they're going to be in the same position that Spirit's in right now.
Well, the reason U.S. Air didn't make it, and I don't know how long you've been listening to me, but it was all management. It had nothing to do with the workers. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how beautiful the airport is, and it is state-of-the-art. American Airlines, a lot of friends from U.S. Air working for that great brand. But just like the mills, this area has never recovered since U.S. Air left here. Never. Sorry, it hasn't.
I agree. I agree with what you said because I was there when Wolf and Gang all, were running the show. And
horrible.
It was terrible, and all they did was they took their, basically they took their
money and destroyed everything else.
And they walked away. They came out okay. Where all the other, employees of U.S.
See that, Steve. That's why I can't sit here and talk politics other than some stuff that you folks bring to the attention of my audience. All I'm worried about right now, I don't care how they got in this position or what went wrong. My thought process right now is 15,000 workers and the Arnold Palmer Airport. That's what I'm thinking about.
I understand that, but I think the big picture is, because my last base was Fort Lauderdale, and Spirit was huge. They're nothing compared. In other words, they have had to give a lot of their aircraft back. They are very small compared to what they used to be because they were just trying to survive. So, I would love to see them pull it together. I really would because I think they provide a product that nobody else provided. And the thing is this. They provide products that a lot of people that couldn't take advantage of flying got to take advantage of it.
Yes. And that's another thing nobody looks at. It's going to hurt, trips to Florida, going to Disney World, going to a beach, going to Lauderdale.
Absolutely.
and winter snowbirds, being able to come back to their high school grandchild's graduation. People don't look at the big picture, and airports that depend on people to service those planes, those jobs aren't all of them are going to be needed anymore, and everybody worries about the bottom line. I don't get it. I love their look. I love their product. I love JetBlue. I love the airline industry, and it's still such a big part of who we are. And you just can't keep, as I like to say, sweeping these jobs under the rug, because those type of jobs are hard to find. And as you said, from someone who's walked the walk, they don't ever get replaced because you don't find a job that pays you that kind of money, because everyone's crunching numbers right now. And this jet fuel price, listen, I'm going to say this, too. If our president, this is my opinion, you don't get that regime of Iran out of there with this so-called peace deal you're talking about, and I respect the president, then you lost. Okay? So if you don't want that regime out of there, get out of there. Let these airlines get a handle on fuel prices. Let people get a handle on fuel prices. And let's go back and let's start saving some jobs in America, like these 15,000 that are on the line right now. I'm going to give you the final minute. It's all yours. Go.
Okay, I'm going to go off the airline just a minute for the Iran. My position is very strong. I've flown all over the world. And you saw what happened with Chernobyl. It devastated even Europe. And you couldn't even eat some of the food because it was contaminated. And that's just from a controlled, damage to a reactor. These people are crazy. If they had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it. And you've dropped one bomb in the United States, it's not just going to affect that area. It's going to affect the entire world. If you understand how weather patterns work, we will feel the fallout, the entire world. These people have to be brought under control so that they cannot go and possess something that can destroy and damage the entire world. And that's the thing that people, when people are stepping in saying, hey, we want to go and have, we want to have no fighting. We want everybody, I get it. I don't want to go to war. I don't want to have a fight either.
Doesn't work that way.
These people drop one bomb. The whole world's affected by these people making one stupid decision, and we let them do it.
Listen, I got to get to a break. Mary Hours is waiting, too. I'm just going to say this. If that regime stays, it was a waste. That regime has to go. I appreciate it, Steve. Great insight. Thank you. I hope you'll call again, because we're not going to back down on the Spirit Airlines story. All right, let's get Mary Hours in here before the break quickly. I don't want to wake up and it's 36 degrees anymore. Can you handle that, Mary Hours?
Oh, my gosh, it's terrible. There's frost on cars and on the road. So, yeah, it's a cold morning, but we do see sunshine this afternoon. So, clear skies will lead to sunny afternoon. By the time we get to 10 a.m., we're already at 50 degrees, so the sun will help to warm things up. And then by tomorrow, we're going to see highs back to 70, and then it's very warm on Tuesday with some showers and storms. We're back to the mid to upper 70s, and then the rest of the week will be soggy back to highs near 60. So we are in still for a little bit of a roller coaster.
Listen, I appreciate it. Have yourself a happy day today, okay?
Awesome. Thank you. You too.
There she goes, Mary Hours. Quick break, overdue. Let's get it in and get back to these phones. Your Pratt Pack Sunday morning.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKA-radio.com. News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports is brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Connor Griffin, 4 for 5. Bucks beat the Reds 17-7. Two teams again today. 1:35 first pitch. 93-7 the Fan from PNC Park. Golden Tempo won the Kentucky Derby yesterday. Riverhounds lost to Phoenix 1-0. And PGA this weekend, Doral in Florida. Cameron Young is at 15 under. Scotty Scheffler is in a group in second place at 9 under. More sports at 937thefan.com.
Did you know that the only cause of mesothelioma is exposure to asbestos? Did you know that many local area tradesmen were exposed to asbestos and didn't even know it? The sad reality is asbestos-related diseases are often fatal, yet entirely preventable. Pittsburgh-based Goldberg, Persky, & White understands the complexities of asbestos exposure and are dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve. GPW can't change the past, but we'll work to transform your future. Call 1-800-COMPLEX to learn more.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we're back. Let's get to Rich in Jefferson Hills. Rich, you're on KDKA with your Pratt Pack. How are you today?
Hey, Rob, the last caller, man, he hit everything that the nail on the head with the hammer.
He walked the walk.
Something got to be. He walked the walk, and I had a neighbor that used to work for U.S. Air, so I know exactly. Once those jobs, like a mechanic or a pilot, once they're gone, they're gone. And
they're not coming back. They're not coming back.
They're not coming back.
Nope.
Where are the politicians at in Westmoreland County? And I hope that Trump can get somebody, do something with the government to let them go through. Because I'm just like you. If those jobs are gone in Westmoreland County, it's going to devastate that area.
Well, listen, I put a bunch of feelers out, and if not me, my colleagues, I'm sure this week, our news department. But for those of you who I reached out to, and by now you've seen the emails and the text messages and everything, I'm here this week, 6 to 10. I'll make room for you. Reach out. This is the biggest story in this region right now. And I just got a note from somebody on Instagram saying it was a Republican judge that stopped the merger. See, this is what and I respect opinions, but this is what we have done since the mills closed. Everybody points fingers and blames a politician or a party as opposed to facing reality. We have to stand up and stand alone and start speaking out and doing everything that we can as the citizenship to save these jobs. Because with all due respect, all these politicians and people we point fingers at, they still have health care. They still have a pension.
Oh, exactly.
They still get a paycheck. They have everything that the people who used to work in the mill that went away 40 years ago used to get. So they're getting theirs, but we're not getting what we need. Stopping. You know how many times I've talked about thousands of jobs disappearing? I'm tired of it. I mean, I'm just sick of it, and I'm not going to sit here and let this just happen without speaking up. There are people that didn't sleep last night who are having their fifth cup of coffee sitting at their kitchen table going, we've got bills. How are we going to do this? Living paycheck to paycheck. Even though they're making good money, they've got 3 or 4 kids. They've got a mortgage, a couple of car payments. I mean, we need to face reality here. You can't just leave people behind because it hasn't affected you. And shame on us for letting something like this happen again after what we witnessed with U.S. Air.
You're right, Rob. Shame on us if we let this happen. Shame on the people. What about your fellow brethren helping out? What is wrong with helping out? Nothing at all. The bottom line is, if this goes bye-bye, God help them. God help them, because God help the politicians. I'd vote them all out of office.
Well, you know what else frustrates me is how people point fingers at everything. Like I hear people tell me all the time, post office, they need to privatize. I'm like, are you kidding me? Where are you going to get your mail delivered 6 days a week and an extra eyes in your neighborhood or this or that for a price of a stamp? I mean, you know, I can't count on anything anymore, but one thing I can count on, after 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Saturday, I walk out my front door, my mail is in the mailbox. You know, so people, I mean, come on, quit complaining and going, and, well, there's so much in debt. Well, you know why we're in debt? Because we took away the mill jobs. We're going to let another possible 15,000 jobs disappear that are all good paying, life-sustaining, good health care, good pension jobs. Plus, imagine this. Who's going to work on certain planes and do certain things at that airport that you knew was that first line of defense? I mean, who's going to go buy their lunch at the local hamburger joint that works at the airport and they can afford to eat out 6 times a week when they're working overtime? Who's going to do all that? I mean, who's going to go buy the materials to keep the airport and these planes clean? I mean, don't people realize this is more than just 15,000 paychecks going away? If you're within the sound of my voice and you live in the tri-state, you're going to get hurt because of this. You're going to, and me as the consumer, now that I'm getting maybe, close to retiring, I'm not going to be able to get a $69 one-way ticket to Florida to go sit on a beach in Lauderdale for the weekend. I'm just saying, people need to wake up here. This is a major, major, major story.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. They better wake up, that's for sure.
I don't know.
Amen to that.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Listen, there was a time when I was growing up as a kid, and this is a fact. People used to you could go to places and buy uniforms that U.S. Air would sell at a local mall. because people would come into the club after they'd worked the 3 to 11 shift. They'd have their U.S. Air gear on. It was the coolest stuff ever. There were places that you'd get your hair cut called U.S. Hair, okay? I mean, it was everywhere. It was who we are. It was our identity. It was my generation's U.S. Steel, okay? It devastated people. I could tell you people who were no longer with me on this planet who suffered illnesses and were just destroyed after their job was taken from them, or many who had to move to North Carolina. I knew so many flight attendants, it would boggle your mind. People that flew for that great brand. And yeah, it did work out. And there are people that survived it, that are mechanics and still working for American Airlines. And thank goodness for that. But you know what? Didn't we learn anything from that? It's like the steel industry. Why do you think I promoted and harped on this Nippon U.S. Steel story as much as I did? Because I was here when LTV went away and Aliquippa was devastated. Armco, American Bridge, Crucible, all night I'd be here. Listen, I was in Beaver County doing a video helping some local organization out to promote their baseball fields on my dime. Nobody's making any money on all these videos, thousands that I've done, because I believe I want to pay back. But I'm getting to the end of it because I'm getting to the end of everything. I am what I am, and I can only do so much. I hope somebody is ready to carry the ball. But you know what I thought about the entire time I was at this place? Right down the road in Falston, there used to be a place called Colfin Specialty Steel. And before that, it was Townsend. It's empty. It's empty. And in the back of my mind, I just kept thinking about it. And the people, the generations, my best friend's father, how he worked there when his service station couldn't pay him enough to raise his children. And I woke up Saturday morning, and what did I see? Spirit Airlines. 15,000 jobs. It took me back when LTV left. I don't want to see it happen again. It took me back when I would be in these clubs at midnight on a Saturday and no one was dancing anymore. They were sitting at the bar drinking their sorrows away with their uniform on saying, what am I going to do? I was with a person that literally lost their entire savings via the stock market when that U.S. Air stock went from $81 a share to like just cents. Come on, people. Somebody's got to have some backbone here in this region. Somebody's got to step up. And you know what, Mr. President? All the deals and things that you've done, you know enough people. Get that airline bought. Let it stand alone. Don't let JetBlue suffer either. I mean, come on. Who's ever responsible? None of that matters right now. What matters is that we're in this position. All right, stay with us. News coming up next, then Tech Vibe Radio, then Father Burke, and then we're back with Doug coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Good morning. It's your Pratt Pack.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding, with an exciting opportunity.
Normally, Larry, we offer $500 off any complete roofing and siding replacements. For our spring promotion, we're offering an additional $500 off.
Joe, that's $1,000.
That's right, Larry.
You better call today. The roofing experts, JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711, 412-829-7711. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
Support St. Anthony school programs and help students with special needs achieve their full potential through inclusive education, therapy sessions, and job skills development, serving students ages 5 through 21 with Down syndrome, autism, and other intellectual disabilities. Find St. Anthony school programs within select Catholic schools in the Pittsburgh area, including a post-secondary program at Duquesne University. For over 70 years, they have empowered students of all faiths to live independently and contribute meaningfully to society. Learn more or donate at StAnthonyKids.org.
Hi, I'm Peter Sagal. When we were growing up, my two brothers and I just loved our Uncle Ted. He was like a really cool big brother who always brought around the best toys and took us to the best places and with whom we always had the most fun. It was odd, though, when we got older, to realize he wasn't nearly as outgoing and adventurous with other adults. I found out much later that this might have had something to do with the ostomy bag he wore ever since he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease as a teenager and had part of his lower intestine removed. Theodor Skolnick, my Uncle Ted, died last year at the age of 80, never having once mentioned his illness to me or my brothers. He left a large bequest to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation to help fund better treatments for these diseases and also to help other people, old and young, seek and get help for the situation that he was never able to talk about. Don't feel you need to hide your Crohn's or colitis. Go to spillyourguts.org to learn more about the treatments available and even find a specialist. That's spillyourguts.org.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 34 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is in the Butler County Jail this morning charged with attempted homicide, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment. Police say he shot a woman multiple times, while she was inside a vehicle at Moraine State Park. Shooting happened around 3 o'clock Saturday morning. Police say the two individuals involved were visiting the area from New Jersey. They got into an argument which led to the shooting. The 29-year-old woman was transported to the hospital. No word on her condition. Police have identified the alleged suspect as 31-year-old Javon Brown. A man was stabbed on a PRT bus Saturday afternoon, and the alleged suspect is still at large. Pittsburgh Regional Transit says an altercation between individuals on a P68 Braddock Hills Flyer bus occurred around 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. The person who was stabbed was transported to the hospital in critical condition. Police surrounded the bus at the Wilkinsburg stop along the East Busway. No suspect was found. The incident is under investigation. Well, Bob Kometz, a fixture here at KDKA Radio for 31 years, has died. News Radio KDKA's David Ballarado has more.
Good morning. I'm Bob Kometz with the KDKA News at 8 a.m. for Wednesday, August 4th, 1982.
In an interview conducted 6 years ago for KDKA's Centennial, Bob Kometz remembered the biggest story in his 32 years happened on September 11th, 2001.
We were trying to keep track of it, and I guess the biggest shock of the whole thing was when they said there was another plane down, and that was the one in Shanksville. But I wasn't quite sure whether it was connected with that incident or whether it was a private plane or anything like that. And so we had to do some scrambling and to find out whether that was in fact connected with the 9/11 attacks. And as we all know now, it was.
He joined the station in August of 1972, and when news broke, he was sure to be there, like the Ashland oil spill in January 1988.
I happened to be in a coffee shop down the road, and I had called the desk to tell them what was going on, or at least what I thought was going on. And I heard these two guys talking, and they said it would be at least 1 million gallons. And as it turns out, it was pretty close to that.
Bob Kometz worked with KDKA legends like Jack Bogut, John Hadar, Ed Shaughnessy, and Bill Steinbach.
I had some thoughts about, do I belong here? Am I good enough for KDKA when I first got here? And, those people reinforced the thought that I actually belonged with that group of people.
And for more than 30 years, thousands and thousands of listeners knew that he did. David Ballarado, News Radio, KDKA.